Hey guys, vegan cyclist. This is the Sequoia Cycling Classic Criterium. It is the third race of 3 in an omnium. An omnium is basically like a stage race, yet it is points based. So third day or second day, third race, you can see that it started off fast and furious, getting strung out for the first couple laps. But I was super patient and I just sat in pretty much for the first 2/3 of the race. So while I'm sitting in the pack and it's not exciting, let's take a look at some of the stats. It's 34.4 miles, hour and 17 minutes. The average speed was 26.3 with a max of 35. That's really not that fast. Actually, I've been in crits that are 29 miles an hour average. The average power was 248, max 1102. Again, not that impressive, but most of the race I sat in. My time in the zones, 37 minutes for zone 1, and then 10, 8, 8, and 6 for the meat of the zones, and then 15 minutes in zone 6, which is 391 watts plus. So I was pretty much either coasting into a turn or just smashing out of them, right? A lot of surges. My peak power, let's take a look. This is kind of crazy. My best 5 seconds, 9:38, was at the very end of the race. Same thing with my 10 seconds was in the final sprint. My 20-second power, my best 20-second power of 683 came from the bridge to the break. So when I had to make that effort to get to the break, best 20-second power. My 1 minute power, 431, not that impressive, came in the last minute of the race. My best 5 minutes was actually in the meat of being on the front and trying to bring back the break and going with all the moves. My best 10-minute was from when I made the break, to the finish. So right here, Jonathan Baker, this guy, mustache man, you've seen my other video, super strong, super smart. I sat on his wheel and I chose, look, this guy's probably not going to do bad, he's gonna do well, so I stuck on his wheel. The crazy thing about being in the back is, look, so when the guy on the front is drilling it, there's so many people that just funnel in and go from kind of a group side by side into a single file line, which means that the guy in the front could be doing like so many watts and I'm just here in the back not doing much. But even though I'm on the back, it's still, you have this accordion effect sometimes where the surges go from the front and kind of move to the back. So it's definitely still, I'm putting out power and I'm having to race smart being back here. But I mean, it was a crazy race for sure. These tight turns, everything, kind of have to worry about where the wind's coming from to like just save that extra little bit of watts. So like the wind's coming from the left, so I'm kind of staying to the right, even though I'm not on someone's wheel. Dudes riding up in the gutter, you're next to each other, you're banging bars, and a lot of moves going when you're kind of blocked. Tony Wolf goes off on the front because they missed a move. There's 2 guys up the road, one from Cliff Bar and one from Pacific Bank. So one of their teammates right there in the blue. And man, so Tony goes to the front, he's smashing. This guy Echelon, he has a teammate, he's smashing. So this is well into the race. This is probably over halfway through the race, and we're starting to get a little bit anxious because that break got about a 30 or 40 second lead, and the main teams that are being represented are not chasing. So it's up to Cortex and the other guys. Now I go here to the front and I do start pulling, and I don't have a team to pull for, but here's the thing is that if I just pull off, if I'm on the front and I don't do anything, it could totally take away the like ambition to chase that break, right? So I pull through and I hope that other guys will still be motivated to keep going. Jonathan Baker, mustache man, he's now at the front. He had been at the back of the race the whole time, and when now he starts going, if he thinks that break's a threat, it's a threat. So you gotta watch him, and holy smokes, this guy's so strong. It's unbelievable. I mean, he's able to just put down huge amounts of power. I'm 800 watts, 700 watts in their draft, and he just holds it forever. And you're just like, there's no way I can sustain this. I look back, we had a little bit of a gap, and if there's anyone I want to be in a break with, it's definitely that guy. So I kind of go to the front and I help push it a little bit. They attack again. The Jonathan Baker guy is just, he's hell-bent not having a break succeed he's not in. So he's making a lot of moves. But this point in the race got really crazy because so many people were making moves. Cliff Bar was making moves. All these people were making moves because at 30 seconds, 40 second gap with the break, that's almost like the writing on the wall. So I'm at the very front. I mean, I was never back behind 5 guys, right? I was like the first third, 1, 2, 3 spots. And I'm just going with every single move that goes, because I can totally feel at any point there's going to be that snap of elastic where there's going to be a chase group that's allowed. Now, Cortex, a lot of this is falling on them because they don't have a guy in the break, and they've got a lot of guys represented. So they're constantly moving to the front and constantly making attacks. This guy Chaz right here, he was working for his teammate, and he just made a huge dig into the break. He pulled back almost 20 seconds by himself on them. So now we can see the break. They're still way up the road, but we can see them, and that means that the motivation to chase is high. Check this out. Cliff bar, cliff bar, cliff bar, Pacific Pink, right? 4 guys on the front that have guys in the break. So they're clogging that the field down. You see Tony Wolf, he sees that, he knows that can't be. He goes, one of the Cliff Bar guys goes with him because he can't let him just go up. And since there's a bunch of other now, Cortex, Pacific Bank, Cliff Bar, they're on the front, most likely they might let me go, right? They're not going to chase me down. They're going to chase their own guys down. But Tony didn't want to pull that Cliff Bar guy up, so he kind of shut it down, and we were sort of just swarmed. I'm continuing to pull, not at, maybe 70%, 80%, just trying to keep the momentum going, keep the flow going, and also stay at the front. I don't want to just shut it down, because then you could lose all your positioning. You could just fall all the way back through the pack, and I don't want to do that, because the amount of energy it takes to move through the pack is crazy. Again, you see Cortex, they're at the front, and right here, just what I'm talking about. I kind of got on the wrong wheel, and I'm starting to fall back. But here's the move. Let's get to the meat of it, okay? Bam. You see there's 3 guys off, and they're chasing, and everyone is super tired. Cliff Bar doesn't want to chase because they've got a break. Cortex has been doing a ton of work. Muscle Milk's done a ton of work. Everyone's done a ton of work. This guy has a teammate in that move, so he's not going to chase me. Like, perfect. This is perfect. But now I don't have the fitness to chase for laps, so I've got to connect with that chase group right now. So I just go all in, and I'm counting down in my head, like a 10-second effort, just like go as hard as you can, or as hard as you can. I'm counting down. I make it to the chase, and we kind of start to look at each other like, who's gonna pull? But then we started working well together. We were communicating, and I was actually strong. For once, I was in a break that I didn't feel that I was dying just to hang on to. I was actually driving the break. I was putting down good watts, pretty much 400 watts every time I was at the front, plus. And each one of us had our own section, and that's the perfect way to do it. You kind of have this unspoken rule of, okay, I'm going to take the front straight, you take this turn to that turn, you take this section. And so just every lap we had it dialed exactly when we were going to pull through, which worked perfectly, because any little hesitation in a break can cost you. So we were totally working smooth, and I'm like freaking out in my head that, are we going to catch the break right now? Is this going to happen? And then there they are. We are fully catching the break. I'm so excited. So I take the initiative to drive, up to them, and they're cooked because they've been out for pretty much half the race, and they sort of probably think that they're getting caught by the group. But so I go and I say, move, get out of the way. I'm going to take this. I'm going to sacrifice this because I don't care if I get 6th or 7th or whatever. Top 10 would be phenomenal. So I want this break to work. Guys on the last 2 or 3 laps start to mess around, which they let 2 teammates kind of roll off the break, which was crazy. But so I drive that back, and I'm trying to be the glue of this break, right? So it doesn't fall apart, trying to take my pulls. And when I make my pulls, I'm pulling hard. But I'm not blowing myself up. I'm not going red so that I get dropped from the break, but I'm definitely on the limit, right? Here's Jonathan Baker, Mustache Man, and another Cliff Bar guy bridge to us, which totally sucks, right? There's now 2 extra super strong guys, but for sure this break is in the bag. This is going to work. So guys kind of start to mess around, but right here, Vinny, he's working for his guy, Blake Anton. So he goes to the front, and he just starts drilling it here on the last lap, which was awesome because he's basically being a lead out man. So he's guaranteeing our break success, and I'm trying to figure out what's the best wheel to be on because I'm not really a sprinter. So what do I do right now? And I'm banging bars with Blake Anton. We're fighting for Jonathan Baker's wheel right here. And this is maybe like 2 turns to go. And I probably, in hindsight, should have attacked here or moved to the front because I'm all the way at the back. And when we come into that last turn, there's just not enough room. Like, I should be sprinting now. I should be attacking now. And I left it way too late. I was not confident, really. I just thought maybe if I could just beat one guy, I could get 5th place. And I mean, I gave it all, but just came up so close to getting 5th, which is was a podium picture. Really wanted it. Anyway, crazy race. Sat in for the first half of it, saved my matches. When I felt like something was getting ready to go, I was at the front following moves, made the bridge to the break. Break succeeded, 6th place, vegan cyclist. Yeah.